Alrighty, I'm going to give my review of Pet Sematary. I just noticed I'm in my car now again. That used to be in my truck when I did some of these reviews. A lot better light in here. Anyways, yeah, review of Pet Sematary. I happened to watch the first one. I've seen the first one, but it's like, I think I must have just only seen bits and pieces of it because I don't remember. I remember stuff from it, but there's parts I don't remember, so I'm thinking I must have just seen bits and pieces, maybe catch the very beginning, maybe miss some middle parts, catch the end, because I remember the ending of the movie, yeah, anyways, the new Pet Sematary was, they're very different. They're not like some remakes where it's kind of very similar, like I did with what I said, like with The Upside, where that was very similar, and Cold Pursuit, where they're basically almost the same movie. This is definitely different. There's different stuff, very different ending. Spoiler, I might give away the ending, so just towards the end of this review here. But yeah, very different. Where in the original, Gage is the one who gets hit by the truck. This one, actually, it's the sister, Ellie, who gets hit by the truck. A little bit different how she gets hit by the truck in the original. You know, he's out in the middle of the road and just kind of gets, boom, plowed by this truck after flying a kite. This one, both named Church, after Winston Churchill, and yeah, it's raining. If I flip it like this might work better. Because I want to hold my hand here, and I can't do that when it's facing this way. So, anyways, she is celebrating her 9th birthday, which she already said she was 9, so I figured she'd be maybe celebrating her 10th birthday, but maybe she just said she was 9 because she's about to be 9 pretty soon. Anyways, yeah, she's celebrating basically her 9th birthday party, and they're playing hide and seek, and she's kind of hiding, but then she looks and goes, "Oh my God, there's my cat!" After her dad brought it back and had it for a while. Then it kind of, was acting crazy like it did in the original movie. If you've seen the original movie, that is. And so he takes her, or takes him, I guess the cat's a him, takes the cat far away somewhere, don't know exactly where. Probably planning on hopefully it not coming back, but it does. And she sees it and she's like, "Oh, it's Churchill or Church or whatever." And this truck comes, and you kind of, in the kind of way they did this both in 2 different times they did this, where you're like, and I already knew who was gonna get hit by the truck, so it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, I thought it was gonna be Gage. You almost think it's going to be Gage because Gage is walking out to the middle of the road. But, and he does almost get hit by the truck, but his dad catches him before that happens. And basically, as the truck is stopping because of Gage, because the guy's getting like a freaking phone call, and because he sees him, and he kind of hits his brakes, kind of jackknifes, and his truck his main, his cab kind of crashes off to the side. But then his tanker truck, and it's the same company as in the original movie, his tanker truck comes off and is sliding, and that ends up hitting her, which I would think that'd be a little less devastating than a freaking truck hitting you head on. But yeah, kind of plows her into an alley or a ditch there, and evidently she's dead. So it's like, I feel like she probably could have survived it, but she didn't. Anyway, and then if you've seen the original, there was a Victor Pascal. He doesn't play as a big of a role in this one as he did in the original. He was kind of, and he changed races. In the original, he was a white guy. This one, he was a black guy. And then kind of his death was a little different. He got hit by a truck in the original. This one, he got hit by a car and evidently was dragged. But still was fucked up. Brain was like oozing blood, and he was just, yeah, too far gone, basically. And, but he never said his name. Because he never was like, how did you know my name? How did you know my name? And yeah, he's laying there, he dies, light flickers, and then he kind of like sits up and he's like, don't go beyond, whatever. I can't remember exactly what he said, but basically don't go beyond those trees because that's where the, bad stuff's at. So, he shows up at different points, but he's kind of he's like almost like a guardian angel. It's somewhat basically, basically since the doctor tried to help him, he's trying to help him back, which doesn't end up working out like it should have. And I was gonna say the original wasn't really that scary to begin with. This one had more, jump scares, because that seems to be the thing nowadays is jump scares where, cat shows up out of nowhere and goes, "Arr!" Whatever bullshit. It's like none of that stuff. In my opinion, I don't get scared by. I don't get scared by scary movies to begin with, but jump scares, they don't scare me because it's like I know they're coming. Especially when they kind of set them up almost, where you're like, okay, something's gonna happen here. But it's that shit just never. I've probably I was gonna say I can't remember exactly what movie it was, but I think there was one time where I was watching some movie that wasn't even a scary movie, and something happened. I'm like, oh, that actually kind of, because I wasn't like in scary movies, I'm expecting the jump scares, but in I can't even remember what the hell it was, but it was something that was like, oh, that kind of scared me. I'm like, oh shit. Like, not even a scary movie, and because it's like when you're not expecting it, it doesn't scare you, or it scares you. But when you're expecting it in a scary movie, you're like, okay, whatever, not scary. Kind of like those stupid. I guess I haven't even seen those movies like The Conjuring, or Annabelle, or The Nun. Actually, Nun is on HBO tonight. I might check it out. And then there was some trailer for Curse of La Llorona or some shit like that, and that's another one of those shitty fucking jump scare movies. As I was gonna say, that's what James Wan does. He directed, he's kind of known for directing scary movies like Saw, and actually I don't know if he directed Saw or not, but he produced Saw, whatever, and then he does The Conjuring and those type of movies, and then he directed Aquaman, and I think he directed a Fast and Furious movie. But yeah, it's like that shit just does not scare me at all. And I could hear people going, they were getting scared. It's like, what? Pussies, come on now. Stop being scared at stupid shit like that. Anyways, I heard this was kind of more in tune with the book. The original movie was actually written, the original movie was actually, the screenplay was written by Stephen King. So it's like, this one, as far as I know, I don't know if he had much involvement in it at all. He might have had some, if any, and then in the original, he was actually in the movie as a pallbearer. I don't know if that was necessarily a pallbearer, or he was kind of the one who was doing the service. So, he had some involvement. He wrote the screenplay, based on his own book. So, that one should have been more in line with his book if the guy who wrote the book wrote the movie. But I was gonna say, I haven't read the book, so I don't know exactly the big major differences. I kind of, on Wikipedia, I kind of saw what some of the differences were between the book and the movie. But I know there's obviously going to be some differences in the books to the movies. But I think I heard that the new one is a little bit more true to the original story than the original movie is. the only person. Okay, now we're gonna get to the spoiler. Oh, actually, before I get to the spoiler here, so John Lithgow is Judd, who was played by Herman Munster or Fred Gwynne, in the original, and I think it definitely the original's Judd was way better acted, just because he probably had a wider range of characters that he played. I was gonna say he's always going to be known for Herman Munster, but just his kind of his southern drawl, and just I think he just played it better than John Lithgow. And when I heard he was going to be in this movie, I'm like, dude, he's like a comedic actor. Even though he was good as the Trinity Killer in Dexter, he was pretty good there. But I just was like, John Lithgow, he's like, you know, Third Rock from the Sun, Daddy's Home 2, just more of a comedic actor. And he didn't really play as big of a, I don't know, as big of a part as he did in this movie as he did in the original. And then when it came to his time to die, it it kind of tricked you, kind of like it did with which person died in the between Gage and Ellie. You like in the original they do have the I think what's called the splicer or scalpel. Oh, that's what it is. They have the scalpel, and he goes upstairs. You think he's gonna get cut in the leg because they show his leg, or the back of his see, I can't even think what the hell that shit's called, but basically the back of his foot, whatever. You see that and you're like, oh, here it comes. You're like, well, I don't think there's anybody in there, but you know, you see like basically a shot from underneath the bed, and I thought I saw a light. You see the shot under the bed, and you're kind of like, okay, here it comes. And then he kicks the bed, and you're like, oh, there's nobody under the bed. You're like, ooh, got me. you think it's coming, but it doesn't actually come. So then here comes the spoiler now. So then he ends up coming down the stairs. He's basically prepared for it to happen because he goes over to the dad's house, and he, after his wife calls, it's like, oh, I'm trying to call him and he's not answering, whatever, goes over there and kind of suspects some shit. And then as he's leaving, he kind of looks up and sees his daughter, or daughter that he ended up, he buried. And he evidently drugged him. Like, I thought he was gonna put some like truth in, but evidently he drugged him for some reason. Not quite sure exactly why he had to do that. He could have just went and did whatever and wouldn't have made any difference. But for some reason, he's Judd is just sitting out in front of a campfire or whatever, and he comes over with drinks and drugs his drink, and he ends up passing out. It's like, why did you need to do that? Because it's like he could have just been sleeping, and he could have went and done the same thing. You didn't have to drug the guy. It was like, okay. Oh shit. So anyways, so yeah, he gets over there. As he's heading back to his house, he sees oh, Jesus Christ. Ooh, scary. He sees the dead daughter, and he's like, oh shit. So then he locks his house. Evidently he must have missed the door, because when the dad heads back over to the house, to his house, he gets in because the front door is locked. So he grabs a gun, he heads upstairs because he hears some noise up there, and then nobody's up there. So then he's going down the stairs, and then that's where the happens, right into the leg. He gets cut right in the leg. Not as like slice as it was in the original, but he kind of just got stabbed right to the back of his shin there, and so that was kind of a little ooh. Wasn't expecting it there, because you're like, oh, it didn't happen there, but you're kind of like, oh, it's gonna happen here pretty soon if it didn't happen there. And he's coming down the stairs. It's like, ooh, kind of like I think Child's Play 2 when that happened, where the dad was going down the stairs. Gets it, and then she has this mask on, and then there was like there was a whole I want to say procedural, but that's not right. A procession, where kids are walking through the forest with these kind of scary masks on and drumming, and that's when they would bury their pets or whatever. And she has one of these masks on when she stabs the guy in the leg, and somehow her face transforms into his dead wife's, and he's like, oh yeah, she's down in hell with me, and whatever. And then basically just gets stabbed to death. Definitely not like the original, because he gets like slit right across her lips, and then gets his throat slit out. Like they come back as like zombies, basically, is kind of what it is. Here comes some more thunder eventually. But it was different than the original. And then there was one kind of, and this is set in Maine, which is what most Stephen King books are set in. On the way back to her house, the mom is like sitting out in traffic, and there's a slight It reference, because there's a sign that says Derry, 20 miles. So it's like, oh, that's where. And then Derry's a fictional town. But Derry, Maine, is like, oh, that's where it's set in. It had stopped raining as much as it had, and now it's raining again really hard. I was going to go walk my dog, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. Anyways, so then the mom comes back, and then the dad finally reveals it to her, the mom, that he brought the daughter back, and she's just like, no, that's not our daughter, no. Because she knew how the cat acted after he did that it's like not the same person. So then she tries to get away from the daughter. Or no, the dad went across the way to see, what's going on with Judd. And then that's when he discovers that the daughter, flip this back around again because my other hand's getting tired now, figured out that the daughter killed Judd. So then he runs back over, and the mom's upstairs trying to get away from the daughter, and she's like, she must have some extra super strength now because she's dead. But he's able to get into this room that she kind of has barricaded. She drops the daughter down, or drops Gage down to the dad, and finally the daughter gets in, stabs her in the back, stabs her, basically is killing her, and trying to remember. Basically, the mom says, don't bury me up there. Can't remember who she said that to, because I don't. She must have said it to the dad. I'm trying to remember that now. Oh yeah, she did, because yeah, now I remember that. Yeah, because she did say it to the dad, because he comes in and then the daughter clocks him in the head with a chair or something or other to knock him out, and then the daughter drags her, which how she's dragging her, I don't know. Drags her, well, I guess she has the superhuman strength, so she drags her to the place, buries her, and then as the dad wakes up and goes, oh, what's going on, goes to the pet cemetery, finds the daughter there, or the daughter shows up or whatever, and as he's about to kill her, the mom shows, is reanimated and stabs him right through his, with one of the kind of basically was a cross is what it was that he ended up knocking over when they were fighting each other from the pet cemetery, and then he's basically dead. I can't remember if I said he locked Gage in a car. I forgot. I didn't mention that, I don't think. He caught Gage, locked him in the car, and then he ran to wherever he ran to, upstairs, to save his wife if he could. But that didn't happen. He gets stabbed in the chest. then he gets buried, and they end up burning. Not quite sure why he needed to burn the house down now, but he burned down Judd's house, which in the original movie, the only reason he did that was because, you know, he killed his wife was there dead, hung herself, or I guess the kid hung her. Then Gage was there, and then Judd was there. So the only person who was in the house that was burning this time was Judd. So it's like, I guess they burned the house to... I guess I don't know exactly why they burned the house down. But they burned the house down, and Gage wakes up. It's kind of morning time, and they're all dead now except for Gage. And then they're coming back. So, and then the very last thing you hear is the door unlocking, and basically Gage them. I don't know exactly what happens after that, but basically the door unlocks, and they find Gage. You know, they do something. They do. I don't know. They kill Gage too, so they can all be a dead happy family, or what happens. And then one thing that this movie does that like a lot of movies do is the end of the movie starts the movie. So the end of the movie started with like kind of a pan over their houses, the house on fire, then the new family's house with their car, with, now I'm trying to remember if the door was open or not. I think the door was open. Yeah, the door was open. Yep, now I remember that the door was open, and then kind of blood on the door and shit like that. So it's like, I guess you kind of see more than what it actually shows you at the very end of the movie. But they got into the car and got Gage, and then I don't know what happened to Gage, but he's probably dead now too. So there's just going to be one dead happy family, basically, is what they are. So, yeah, that wraps it up pretty much. So, in my opinion, I don't know if it's same length as the original movie. Actually, I think about 2 minutes longer. But I think I preferred the original movie. It was more of a campier kind of. It had its funnier moments at times. This one was kind of just straight, basically a scary movie for the most part. So looking at for time here, 11:45. So yeah, it was. This was more scary than the original, but I think I preferred the original over this one. I think Rotten Tomatoes is this one is slightly better than the original, but I think I preferred the original just slightly better than this one. And yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, there's major differences between the two. So if you haven't seen the original, it doesn't really matter. You can see this one and then maybe go see the original if you want to, if you care. And I think there might be plans, from what I read, of them making a sequel to this, depending on how this one does. That's actually going to be a prequel. So kind of, tells you the story about the Pet Sematary, maybe about this other area, the sacred land, or sour land that the Indians or whoever used to. And there was a little bit of backstory on that, more than there was in the original. So kind of explains why the land is sour and whatnot. And then one thing, if you see this is all depending on if you've seen the original. In the original, Rachel, who is the mom, has this sister who has a fucked up back. She's all fucked up. She can't get out of bed. In the original, she dies by choking on food. In this one, she ends up dying by falling into a I'm trying to remember the words of things. Into a dumbwaiter, or is that what those things are called? I can't remember now. Basically those little elevators that houses would have that they'd put food on or whatever. that you can, that goes up and down. And she puts food in there. And evidently, somehow her sister was able to get out of bed to maybe get this food, but then she ends up falling down into the hole. She dies that way. It's like, okay. It's like, well, okay, if she's stuck into her bed, how the fuck did she get out of bed to get the food? It doesn't make any sense. So there's certain things that like just don't make any sense. So yeah. Anyways, it was a decent movie. I probably give it about a 2 out of 5. It wasn't that great. I wanted to see it, but I think I probably could have waited for it to be on home video. I think I should have went and saw Shazam instead. But I'll still go see Shazam because that's guaranteed probably a lot better than Pet Sematary was. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. It's all right. I wouldn't say you really need to go see it in theaters. I would say just wait for it to show up on TV or on one of the paid channels, or if you want to do video on demand or whatever. Don't go out and buy it. It's not worth buying. I would say, yeah, it was okay. Not better than the original. Go see the original. If you're gonna watch a Pet Sematary, go see the original because that was a lot better. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5. See it if you want to, but I'd say don't pay to go see it in the theater. It's not worth it. Yeah. So, anyways, if you've seen Pet Sematary, the first one, or the second one, or this one, let me know what your thoughts were, and stay tuned for more reviews. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like this. If not, I guess you can give it a thumbs down, whatever. Comment down below, like I said, with what your thoughts if you've seen the movie, or if you're gonna go see the movie, and then go ahead and subscribe because that'd be awesome too. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more.